people, to yet another episode of Yolking Around. I hope you guys are doing great. I certainly am. I'm recording this on a Saturday, and I am having a good time, honestly. I was able to wake up at a good hour and get my shit done, and now I'm recording, so it's always a good feeling to do that. And as you guys can see, my partner, my co-host, she is not going to be with us during this podcast because she is out shopping. She's doing a little shopping with her friends, the girl things to do this weekend. And yeah, I just got to stay home, which is chill. And yeah, this podcast is going to be different just because, well, first of all, if you're smoking or if you are in an environment that is safe to smoke, I would consider toking up, just lighting up, listening to the podcast wherever you're sitting on. Just not, if you're driving and you're smoking, please don't do that. Especially in the city, man. It's super fucking dangerous. And every morning I see somebody just puffing up on a dab pen or some shit like that, and it's scary. It's scary as it is, man. I just worry. I worry about you. And yeah, just be careful. Don't be smoking and driving. Even though, technically they should be driving slower, right? I feel like stoner drivers do it much slower. They're not necessarily speeding, but nonetheless, you can get hurt and you can get other people hurt. That's the problem with driving and putting yourself or somebody else potentially at risk. So yeah, I invite you guys to toke up. This podcast is very unprepared, as you guys can see. It's meant to be that way. It's meant to be kind of a catharsis and just elaboration of ideas that might flow through my high brain. So I am joining you guys in that sense. And I recently went to a Broncos game, my first Broncos game. But this Broncos game was very, very special because this Broncos game was, again, the arch nemesis, arch rivals, the Raiders. And it was honestly a really cool experience. That first football game at the Broncos Stadium was super dope, honestly. I think it's in Power Field. It was a great day, not a lot of sun. Everything was great. There was a little bit of rain even. It was perfect, honestly. Perfect playing weather, and the Raiders won by 1. And holy shit, man. And I think it was the first game of the season as well. I think it was the first game of the season as well. And the Broncos lose by 1. I want to say that the reason being because of the kicker. Earlier during the game, the kicker had an opportunity, to do a field goal or either a field. I think it was a field goal. And I think he missed it. I'm pretty sure he missed it. So that point at the end of the game ended up costing him. I think it was like 16-17 or some bullshit. They won by 1. And boy, did the Broncos fans regretted that. Boy, did they do. The Raiders fans have this chant that basically goes, Raiders. So this chant was shouted left and right during the game and afterwards. So as you were coming down and out of the stadium, people could hear the echoes of this fucking chant, and you could tell that not the Raiders, but the Broncos fans were so fucking pissed. And a lot of people started yelling out traitors because of their whole history of going back and forth to Oakland and now in Vegas and all sorts of shit. But the shit talking was real, man, out there. There was no fights. Good. I don't like when it goes to fights, but it was very interesting seeing the type of because football is a great example of that, of competition within the American culture. I feel like football football has a way of having the white people specifically express themselves in a way, in an aggressive way, I guess, by being, chanting against somebody else and whatnot. So that energy felt interesting to be in, because in Europe, to put an example to maybe specify my point a little better, in Europe you have the ultras, right? You have these, I think it's the ultras. You have these large crowds of fans, right? Of almost gangs of teams, representing each other. It happens a lot in Mexico, specifically with these types of games where there's an arch rival. It's interesting to see kind of that dynamic within the white culture. I had never really experienced that, specifically with that many people, first of all, and then so many people going against each other so traditionally hard, for lack of a better explanation. And experiencing that firsthand, because I've gone to soccer games and basketball games, but I haven't felt that with the football game. I feel like it hits a lot different, specifically with the American culture. And I did not hate it. It was very interesting, very funny at times. The shit talking and everything, and everybody seemed to be just in their own world almost, but also like it very in conjunction with what was going on in the game. And it was super fucking interesting. And I want to give a shout out to my stepdad that he got us tickets. And yeah, we were able to see our first Broncos game, and it was amazing, man. The crowd behaved well, and it's always a good time. I fucking parked in this spot down down in the Broncos stadium. Found this spot. It was facing one way, and then the street was going one way, right? Let's say it's going downhill, and then when and I don't usually park down in that field, so that's why I was very confused. When the game was over and everybody was leaving, the street became an uphill, and now I'm stuck in my parking spot because I'm facing the other way. There's two lanes of massive amounts of cars going completely the opposite way. These people are not fucking budging to like wait for you. They're just like, all right, get me the fuck out of here, which I get. But my my shout out to my stepdad again. He stepped out. He was like, fuck this. He stepped out of the car, and he talked to some people, this nice person in a Range Rover, and he was like, yeah, I got you. So he was able to stop the two lanes of traffic, and then I was able to bust the Sasha or do a U or whatever you call it, and I was able to get out of there. So that was a whole experience in itself, just the parking situation and just figuring that shit out downtown. But yeah, man, my first game, very, very good. I want to go to other games. The Broncos, they didn't play bad, but it's just you gotta be clutch, man. You gotta be clutch in those games, specifically with so much competition and rivalry. You have to be with a good mentality and be clutch. And if you can't make a field goal, not to shit on the kicker, but kinda, when that's all you're training for, then you end up paying it. But it's at the beginning of the season, so those are lessons to learn. That doesn't mean he sucks or anything like that, but I bet it was very nerve-wracking. His legs were probably feeling like noodles. I don't know. I mean, if you've played a sport, there's been one game at least, unless you're like fucking Neymar or Messi or I don't know, somebody out of this world, that you're so good that you just don't seem to be Ronaldinho, just don't seem to be nervous. But we've all had at least one game or a couple games or various games in our lives where we were scared to perform. Like you felt your legs maybe feeling like noodles. You were very uncertain of your performance. And this is very, very sports minded, I guess, type of reflection. But yeah, we've all had those games, and everybody had different ways of kind of relaxing and coming into to centeredness, I guess, and some didn't. Some of them, the nerves end up eating you. In your games, and your performances is not that good. But it happens. Lessons learned. Like I said, you start building confidence and that iron gut. To call it something else. But yeah, that was a great experience, guys. Let me drink a little bit of water. I got a little bit of cotton mouth going on, so. Raiders. Raiders. Boy, people were so annoyed. People were so fucking annoyed, man. Yeah, I also wanted to, talking about cars, my car got towed the other day, and it fucking sucked, dude, because I didn't find out that he had gotten towed until the following day. And that is because I usually work from home. So I'm not driving a lot of the time. And I didn't know that the car was missing until the following day, almost. Like, I didn't notice. And the following day, I'm having to go somewhere in the morning, and my car's not there. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But I'm not. See, I want to touch at something after I tell you guys this story. But anyways, so yeah, my car's not there. I'm like, fuck, man. So I already know who took it. They've done this a couple times. Fuck towing companies, man. When you either love them or you hate them. There can be no in between with a towing company, because either they save your ass from being roadside assistance, Allstate, I think that's them, and getting roadside assistance, getting picked up, pushed to a safe neighborhood or whatever, and then they helped you out, they saved your life. But then there's the other side of the fucking coin, right? There's always another fucking side, man. Always. Fuck. The other side of the coin is when you fucking wake up and you're like, where the fuck is my car, man? I know it was right here, man. I know it was right here. You start fucking acting out, and your car's not there, and the towing company just fucking took it to a fucking pound. They're usually pretty far because they charge you by the mile. They have to make their money somehow, obviously. And thankfully, mine is in a very, very easy area to get to. So I appreciated that. Once I was in this, it was downtown, and oh my God, it was in the middle of fucking nowhere. It was ridiculous. But this area is at least kind of nicer. It's not, I don't hate it, but I do hate the drive there, obviously. So I had to get a fucking Uber. And apparently they had taken my car. Oh my God, this is going to be so stupid. But so there's these parking spaces in front of our apartments, okay? And everybody parks there all the time. But they just painted a red line, which means a fire line. Not just, they had painted this line. This line has been there for a while. And people park there all the time. All the time. It was never a problem. But recently, I was the one that got fucked. And they took my car because they were getting ready to finally like paint that spot so that nobody parked there. People are still parking there. They don't give a fuck. But yeah, so I was the one that got fucking screwed at the end, man. And, $400 later, because it's not cheap, because your car is already spent one day there. You're pretty much fucked in that sense. Yeah, so I had to go get my car. Had a really nice Uber from Cuba. Sorry, from Venezuela. He was from Venezuela. I asked him if he was from Cuba because I was trying to figure out his accent, and he was from Florida. So shout out to him. Really nice guy. And we got to talking, and I picked up my car. Thank God I have it again. But fuck, man. Those towing companies, they sure just know how to fuck you over hard, man. It just feels so fucking annoying in the morning when it's fucked up, man, because it does feel a little bit like a violation, like straight up. I know it's their job. I know there's laws and shit, but the fact that somebody can just pick up your fucking car and leave, for some people, that's their biggest asset, man. Like if you're driving some nice car, like nice ass car, and somebody just takes it, that's kind of fucked up. Plus, it's a lot of responsibility. Like, what if you're fucking towing even though a lot of people might say, well, usually those aren't, getting towed because they have garages and what the fuck ever. But, anyways, what I'm getting at is that for some people, cars are a type of assets, and for a lot of us, I would say. And for them to just take it like that and say, fuck you, basically, it feels, I don't know, it feels like a violation. I don't know. It just feels like it feels illegal to a certain extent is what I'm getting at. What else? What else? Oh, yes, I wanted to also talk about, because coming back to the whole towing thing, men, this is gonna be targeted more towards men. Obviously, I was really pissed. This has happened a couple of times, but my question is, and this is more targeted towards men that watch this. How do you guys deal with your anger? What are some things that you legit do to overcome anger at some point? I'm interested in knowing this, because I'm assuming that everybody expresses that feeling differently, but men, how do you specifically, as a person, deal when you're angry? With me, when I get really angry, I am not very vocal. I'm not vocal at all. I don't know what it is, but I keep everything inside me. I don't know why. It's just something I do when I get angry. And I'm talking about like really, really angry. When you get really, really angry, what are some of the things that you do? With me, everything's very internal. Everything's like the war, the storm, everything is very internal. So I keep it. And I tend to be very stoic as well, not try to think about it too much, but it's just a sensation of anger, just kind of dwelling within you, and just, letting it kind of simmer down slowly, like until it kind of goes away, that flame, kind of like killing that flame until it kind of goes away, and then, it's done and over with. But I know that a lot of people, can be very physical, express themselves very physical. They can uh, hurt themselves, or maybe even emotionally hurt somebody around them, So, yeah, it's very interesting how people deal with that type of anger differently. And with me, I think about it as like this internal battle, this internal like fire that I'm feeling, kind of trying to let that fire die slowly. But I I felt that, and that I've noticed that I've done that throughout my life. And I first of all, I don't want to hurt anybody around me, and I'm not a physical person, I wouldn't say, but I, verbally, emotionally, something like that. I obviously try not to do things like that to people that don't deserve it, first of all, uh, and that I love. So I don't know. It's a very internal battle, when it comes to like dealing with anger, like really, really strong anger. I'm not talking about like getting pissed over some bullshit, which you shouldn't if that's the case, just whatever, man. And I feel like that can be really useful, to not get angry as a person, not be angry as a person a lot of the times, just kind of letting things roll off the shoulder. Easier said than done, obviously, but I feel like it's a good way to practice that. But yeah, so let me know. So let me know what you guys do to deal with your anger. Do you guys do sports? I know. Actually, yesterday, funny story. I had a there was this goalie. Uh, we were playing in this co-ed league, and there was this goalie, big guy. He started saying that one of our guys was being a bitch. No, and he said this very loudly. And mind you, this this co-ed league it's a chill layback, it's not a big deal. It's very chill. But people just, I guess, bring fucking personal problems into the whole thing, because it's like, dude, it's no point to get angry off of some bullshit. uh and people really be out there just like projecting themselves and just being angry as fuck on the soccer field. And maybe that's your way of dealing with it, but god dang, also it's kind of selfish, because you are playing as a team. So if you are not feeling like like yourself angry, maybe don't take it out. If you're gonna take it out on the soccer field, make sure it's through your playing, not through your mouth. But anyways, sorry about that. I think I got a little too aggressive at the end. Did not mean to do that at all. See, here we are talking about anger and angerment, and I'm getting aggressive on you guys. It's not only idiotic, it's hypocritical or hypothetical. Hypocritical, man. Hypocritical. It's also interesting seeing how people around you deal with anger. We all have friends. We all have that one friend that I remember in Mexico. I remember here. We all had a friend that was always down to tirar chingazos. He was ready. He didn't give a fuck. He was just ready to beat the shit out of somebody or get the shit beat out of him, right? But he was down. We all had that friend. We still probably do. That he doesn't give a fuck. He has a few drinks, and he wants to defend everybody's honor. Yo, homie, he's fucking looking at you sideways. You want me to fuck him up? Whoa, homie. Yo, he just has a lazy eye, man. Chill the fuck down. Chill the fuck down, bro. But anyways, yeah, we all have that friend that is willing to defend your girl's honor, except his. He'll get fucked over. He'll fucking get run over by a bus or some fucking car, and make it out alive somehow, and end up the next day in the next peda or the next carne asada that you guys do. He ends up there and he's just like has a cast, a fucking neck brace, and like the meanest scars, but he's always down. He's always down to tirar desmadre and tirar chingazos. He's always down to fight. People are just fucking weird when it comes to like anger and how they express that shit, and the things that make it come out of you. Like there's alcohol that might make you, maybe, I want to say, more likely to be angry. I want to look that up actually. Hold on, let me see. Is there an alcohol out there that could potentially lead you to be more angry? Like I want to say cocaine does that shit, but let me see. So this is what I found. Is there a type of alcohol that is most likely of making you angry? Spirits, most likely type of alcohol to make people aggressive, studies find. Drinking spirits more likely to draw out negative feelings than all the other types of alcohol, with nearly a third of spirit drinkers associating with feelings of aggression, survey reveals. Anyways, yeah, it looks like spirits or alcohol, I guess, just in general, is just drinking alcohol uh, can potentially make you more angry. So just be careful not to drink too much, because people start kind of losing their shit. There's also that type of friend, that you invite and you get scared, because what if you don't want him hurting somebody or hurting himself, getting too fucked up, doing something stupid, and usually they can be knuckleheads. So I just be chill, guys, in that sense. But my girl and I started watching Sex Ed, the show that Netflix just released. They released it this last week, September something. Yeah, they released this show, and I've been watching it, and it was long awaited because it is one of my favorite shows, honestly. And they talk about sexual topics, so it's meant to kind of make you ponder about certain things with sexuality and whatnot. They get really fucking, they can get grody, man. They can get very grody. They can get very raunchy as well, which is why I like the show. It's a cast of mostly British actors, and the romance that they've kind of built into the story, and the way they've elaborated each character has been very, very much interesting, because there's a little bit of everything going on with each one of them. And it's very personal things. So I feel like now that they've given you that personalized perception of the character, um, you are able to kind of be more understanding of what they're going through, and I don't know, it's very well done and very well written as well. But yeah, it's raunchy, and it's this great episode, this season, where a guy starts kind of questioning his masculinity, because he likes having a finger up his bum. Spoiler alert. Um, yeah, so he's wondering, oh man, does this make me less of a man? What is this? What does this mean? And I say no, it doesn't make you less of a man by any means. If you like to have that done, it's just that's where they say your prostate is. When you go get a colonoscopy, they're gonna fucking put one up there. So that's where the trigger point is, I guess, and to put it in better words. And if you like that, that's cool, man. But the character is going through this, right, and it's very interesting, because it's kind of taboo, talking about things like that. But that's why I like the show, because they talk about very taboo-ish types of things, and have kind of give you a learning lesson through it in a way. So it does kind of its purpose. It is kind of sexually educating in a lot of things. Like there was this episode about this gay couple, and one of them was talking about a douche, and I honestly could not think about what a douche was until like they thoroughly explained it in the show, and I was like, oh shit, I'm pretty sure it was a douche. But yeah, anyways, the show is great. Go watch it. It's on Netflix, and one of the Netflix shows that I truly truly enjoy, and was waiting for. It's so fucking easy to binge, so fucking easy to binge, and every story is so good. And I wish they would have kept the girl that was a weird girl, the one that had like this, that was, if you've seen the show, there was this girl that did like this play, and they set up this play at the, I think it was actually the last episode, and or second to last. But she was just very very quirky and interesting, and I don't know, I really hated that she's not in this season, and I was upset about that. But the show is great, honestly, and I totally recommend it. It has very 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 intense drama at times. Talks about addiction, talks about a lot of different aspects of the British life, honestly, because it gives kind of like that insight to what it is. Maybe, I mean, I'm not saying that that's how people live over there necessarily. I know it's a show, but maybe just to the way they speak, relate to each other in different interpersonal relationships, with friendships and whatnot, and the things, how they bullshit each other, how they kind of shoot the shit, or whatever they say, with each other. And it's interesting to see. It's definitely very interesting to see that, and there's just some funny phrases, and if I watch a show that is with the English accent, I have to have subtitles, because I really fucking can't. Sometimes the other day they said this phrase, and it was in such a thick accent, and also, but not only that, the phrase itself was so colloquial that it did not make sense to me and my girl. We were like, what the fuck? But I love the writing, I love the show, I love the interpretation of the characters, and English actors. They're fucking amazing as well. I also watched Peaky Blinders, another fucking great show that I saw on Netflix, and Peaky Blinders is the shit, man. And it's about these English gangsters, basically, that are based very loosely in real gangsters, I guess, real characters. But yeah, they it's based on the 1920s industrial, I think, yeah, industrial type of revolution over in England, and industrialization of things, and a lot of coal, and just machinery, and it's fucking great, man. Just watch it. It's a good show. It's has a lot of English accents in it, and they're super fun to listen to. So I wasn't trying to be disrespectful earlier, um, mates. Um, but but I do like me a good English show, and go watch Sex Ed if you like that type of humor. I guess a lot of people don't. A lot of people like to watch La Rosa de Guadalupe. I don't blame them. If you're a Latino and you grew up watching Caso Cerrado, it's like Judge Judy for Latinos. It's Caso Cerrado, la señora Maria Polo. Oh, doctora. She's a doctor. There's those shows that were such guilty pleasures to watch, so weird, that our parents were so into them, are still into it. Probably they're probably watching one right now. They were all over Telemundo, and yeah, they just talked about some fucking weird, fucked up sexual shit most of the time, as I remember. It was very sexually awakening for a lot of parents, a lot of the people that watched it. They touched into some very sensitive, taboo subjects. Heavy hitters. And it's honestly shit television, but they spoke about that shit, man, and we were all there for it. We were all there for it. I remember getting home from school, and my mom had that shit on, and it's what we watched when we ate. From across the table, you fucking set the TV. Do you guys watch TV when you guys are eating? I know a lot of us live in studio apartments, where it's technically impossible not to don't do all that at once. But I was just wondering. I was just wondering about that. How many people watch TV while with the family, while they're eating? It can be a good experience. It makes me feel like maybe like a 1970s type thing to do, for an American family, or any family really. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna close it now. I was just kind of shooting the shit, and I decided to shoot the shit with you guys as well. So if you guys stayed, thank you so much for your support. I was just trying something different, something a little playful, a little out of the ordinary. Anyways, thank you. If you stayed, give it a thumbs up, hit the bell notification, let you know what's good. Oh yeah, let me give you guys the song of the week, man. I'll give you guys the song of the week. Give me 1 second. Let me find it. I'm gonna take you guys all the way back to 2009. So the song of the week is gonna be on this. What's your bop? I almost forgot to say that. It's gonna be "I Got a Feeling" by the Black Eyed Peas. You guys remember that song? I got a feeling, that tonight's gonna be a good time. That tonight's gonna be a good night. Yeah, that's gonna be the song of the week. So go give it a good listen into the Yolking Around playlist, Yolking Around Ecstasy playlist. That's what it's called. But anyways, thank you. Go listen to I Got a Feeling. You guys remember listening to that song before getting ready for prom, doing your hair, and putting your tie, and thinking that you were gonna have a good night, a good time. Oh my God, what days were those, man? What days? Thank you, beautiful family, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay weird. Have a good time. Have a good night. See you later. Bye.